ago from the National Resistance Movement. We also want to recognize
IPOD Council, the Right Honorable Justine Kasule Lumumba, the Secretary General of the Democratic Party, Dr. Seranda Gerard Blacks, the Secretary General of the Justice Forum, Honorable Muhammad Katerega, the Secretary General of the Uganda People's Congress, Honorable Bill Fred, distinguished leaders from the NRM party who are here with us, Hajat Madina, the Director of Finance Administration at NRM, Honorable Egwao from the NRM, my colleagues from NIMD and IPOD Secretariat, our very good friends and partners in the work of democracy in Uganda, our friends from the media, you're most welcome. I really want to appreciate you especially for coming on time and for being our good partners for the last couple of years that we have worked together. I am really, really inspired by a number of you, and you have been very consistent, and we thank you so much for being our partners in this work of promoting dialogue for democracy in our country. First of all, this is our first press conference in this year, and I think it's an important press conference because it comes at the heels of another important exercise, which is the 2021 general elections in Uganda. I want to thank you all, members of the press, for the wonderful work that you did around coverage of the elections and also coverage of all our members who were running for office to make sure that their messages reached the people, especially in these COVID times when we are really relying on you to take the messages of our partners to the electorate. An election in COVID times is not a simple election, and I think that we deserve to congratulate all our citizens for having been able to exercise their democratic rights in such a complex period. As you may all know, that after elections, a number of things have come up, and therefore there are many reasons for dialogue. The head or the chairman of the IPOD Council will be speaking a little bit about that. But as the facilitators of the IPOD dialogue for the last couple of years, we definitely acknowledge the important role that IPOD has at a time such as this. IPOD's role and leadership is very critical at a time like this. I am sure our countrymen and countrywomen are expecting a lot from IPOD, and I am sure that our leaders who are here to deliver that leadership at a time that is most critical to our country. We're here for a press conference. We're here for Uganda to know what our leaders from the political parties with representation in parliament have in store for the country in terms of responding to the challenges as may be unfolding in our country right now. But before I invite the IPOD chairperson, let me use this opportunity to just formally introduce all the leaders representing
Mr. Frank Rusa, the Executive Secretary of IPOD and NIMD, and the team who have made wish you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year. As Ugandans, we have gone through hectic time, back to back, but here we are. We thank God that we are all here, and we pray for those who didn't make it to this year, but we should also make this year more fruitful and meaningful to us. We are here as Secretaries General under the IPOD to announce the third Ordinary Summit of Leaders, which is scheduled to take place on Friday, 5th March, under the theme Dialogue for National Cohesion. to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic and the preventive guidelines in place, the summit shall take place at Kololo Independence Grounds, Kampala, starting at 11 a.m. The presidents or the heads of political parties that fall under IPOD and secretaries general of the political parties shall be the people to attend this, and some few members of the IPOD Council. So the presidents and secretaries general of Democratic Party, that's DP, Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, Justice Forum, JEMA, National Resistance Movement, NRM, the Uganda People's Congress, UPC, are expected to attend the summit that will be chaired by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the current chairman of IPOD, and the chairman, the IPOD Summit, and the chairman of the National Resistance Movement. In line with the IPOD Memorandum of Understanding, which provides for the IPOD Council of Secretaries General to periodically organize a summit of leaders at least once every 6 months, the IPOD Council of Secretaries General, in its meeting held on February 23, 2021, resolved to organize this summit with a view to handling with the current political challenges that the country is faced with. As you are aware, the just concluded elections witnessed high level of unprecedented violence, lawlessness, riots, protests, hate speech, sectarian lines drawn, misinformation, disinformation, among other electoral vices that continue to undermine our electoral democracy and their national security and social cohesion. As political leaders, it is our duty and responsibility to contribute meaningfully to a process that can generate solutions to the existing political challenges of the time. It is against this background that the national chairman of IPOD and also the chairman of the National Resistance Movement agreed to convene the Summit of Leaders. It is expected that a number of issues related to expanding the democratic space, upholding the rule of law, protection of the human rights of the Ugandan citizens and all citizens, enhancing electoral integrity and reviewing the role of security agencies in the electoral process, among others, will be discussed. The summit is also expected to review and make a follow-up on the various summit resolutions, including but not limited to the agreed position on the effective implementation of the Public Order Management Act, POMA. Given the guidance for public engagements in respect to COVID-19 pandemic, the meeting will be attended by a handful number of people, but the country shall be given the opportunity to view the discussion live, and we shall make arrangements because this is going to be done in trusteeship. We are leaders because Ugandans chose us to be the leaders. For God and my country. Kasule Justin Lumumba, chairperson of the IPOD Council. Thank you so much. Bina ababaka mu Parliament ng'ekitulese wano kubabuulira nti tugenda kuba n'olutuula olw'abakulu b'ebibiina abalina ababaka mu Parliament. Lugenda kubeerawo ku Lwokutaano nga 5 mwezi guno ogwokusatu e Kololo. Naye ng'ekigendererwa nti kutuula twogere tukanye okuzza awamu Uganda, what we have called national cohesion, okukanya. Olw'ensonga ez'emmanye eziriwo ez'obulwadde kisenyiga kino eky'amaanyi kye bayita COVID-19 oba coronavirus, tulina amateeka agaatuweebwa ge tulina okugenderako bwe tuba tukuba enkiiko ez'abantu abangi. So olukiiko lugenda kuba mu kisaawe Kololo awali open, tutandike ku ssaawa 5 ez'okumakya. Abagenda okubeera mu lukiiko be bakulu b'ebibiina ab'oku ntikko, abamu babayita party president, abamu bayita national chairman, naye n'abawandiisi baabwe n'abo abatono be banaaba bazze nabo mu lukiiko olwo be tuyitanga betuula nabo mu lukiiko lwa IPOD Council. ebibiina ebyo kwe kuli ekibiina kya DP, ekibiina kya FDC, ekibiina kya JEMA, ekibiina kya NRM, ekibiina kya UPC. Era tusuubira nti wetwogerera akulira IPOD Summit, ekibiina kya IPOD ekya waggulu, omukago gwa IPOD akakiiko akawaggulu, owekitiibwa President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yagenda oddukulira, yagenda oddukubiriza. Tuno tukikola okusinziira ku kukkaanya kwe tuyita Memorandum of Understanding mwe tukolera emirimu gyaffe mu mukago gwaffe ogwa IPOD. So mwe tugenda okutuula naye kuba mu mukago gwaffe mu Memorandum of Understanding twakkaanya nti buli myezi 6 tulina okutuuza olukiiko lw'abakulu b'ebibiina abalina ababaka mu Parliament okuteesa ku nsonga eziba ziriwo ezikwata ku bannayuganda azibakwatirako awamu. So tugenda kuteesa nga bwe ngambye ku Lwokutaano, naye twasooka kikkaanyaako ffe ba Secretary General ffe abawandiisi b'ebibiina bye njogeddeko, ekya DP, ekya FDC, ekya JEMA, ekya NRM n'ekya UPC nga 23 omwezi ogwokubiri ne tukkaanya nti tubeere n'olukiiko luno olw'abakulembeze b'oku ntikko mu bibiina ebyobufuzi ebiina ababaka mu Parliament. So ne tukkaanya nti tugende okusinziira ku bibaddewo mu kulonda, bw'otunuulira ebibaddewo abantu okubagana oba okuvumagana, obumenyi bw'amateeka, okwekalakaasa, abakozesezza olulimi olubi eri bannaabwe, abakozesezza olulimi olutyoboola, abakozesezza olulimi nga lwawula mu bantu, aboogedde ebituufu, aboogedde ebitali bituufu, naye n'okusingira ddala okulaba nti demokrasiya waffe wano mu Uganda tumwongeramu amaanyi okulaba nti tetuddirira mabega. Naye ate ebyo byonna bwe ebibaddewo tebireetera muntu wa bulijjo kuba na mirembe mu mutima ng'omuntu. So it's a national threat to issues of security and social cohesion. Ffe ng'abakulembeze ab'ebyobufuzi tugenda kutuula era tusazeewo tubeere ne kye twongerako ettoffaali lye tuteekako okulaba nti enfuga, ebyobufuzi n'ebyempeereza mu Uganda twongera obitereeza tetudda mabega. Era bagenda kuteesa ne ku nsonga ey'okulaba nti basobola okwongeramu abantu abayinza okuba b'omugaso mu lukiiko. So ku Lwokutaano lwo lwakukkaanya ebimu ku binaateesebwako bandi bwe baba baleeta mu lukiiko olunaddako ng'ensonga zino bazitunuulira mu buli nsonga nga tugitunuulira era nga tugyekenneenya nga tugiwa n'obudde obumala. Tugenda n'okutunula ne ku nsonga ab'ebyokwerinda bwe babadde mu kalulu kano nga tukuba nga bannayuganda basalawo baani abanaabakulembera. Abantu bavuddeyo ne boogera ku nsonga eyo. So twagala tukkaanye tugyogereko ki ekyakolebwa mu butuufu, ki ekitakolebwa mu butuufu, tukola ki ekiba kikolebwa okulaba nti tekidda, bwe kiba tekyakolebwa mu butuufu ki ekiba kiddirira okulaba nti buli munnayuganda, buli muntu yenna aba n'emirembe naddala mu biseera ebyokulonda. N'ekirala kye tugenda okutunulako y'ensonga bwe tubadde tutuuza summit ziri esaasooka 2 bye twakkaanyaako ki ebikoleddwa wa bwe tutuuse, wa bwe biganye, wa bwe bitakoleddwa bulungi, tulabe nga ensonga zino tuzigonjoola. Naye twagala okuteeka ennyo essira ku nsonga gye tuyita etteeka lye bayita Public Order Management Act POMA. Etteeka eryo njagala mujjukire etteeka weeriri, naye twaleeta proposal yaffe nga IPOD ku nsonga za regulations okulaba nti etteeka lino lyangwirwa okuteekebwa mu nkola. So ensonga ezo nazo tugenda zitunulamu gavumenti etuuseewa nazo. Njagala twaliyagadde abantu babeere bangi kubanga zitukwatako ffenna nga bannayuganda ensonga ze tugenda okuteesaako, naye buli kimu tugenda kikola nga tugendera ku mateeka agatufuga naddala ku nsonga z'obusenyiga buno obuliwo. So abantu bajja kuba batono naye bajja bakiikirira, naye tujja kufuba okulaba nti n'okwo byonna ebiteeseddwako tubyanjulira bannayuganda ate nga ababyanjula be bakulu b'ebibiina, ba party presidents oba ba national chairpersons. era tujja ba briefinga ne mawulire tubiteekemu ag'empapula ku lwa Katonda w'eggwanga lyange.
On my behalf, on behalf of the Democratic Party, I want to appreciate Mr. Frank Rusa and the entire Secretariat of IPOD for processing this very, very important and timely summit. The Democratic Party is here, and the Democratic Party is very, very, very committed to the dialogue processes. Even if it will remain the Democratic Party alone, we are committed to the dialogue process. Even if we remain alone on the table of dialogue, we will be the last to quit dialogue, because as DP is the only thing we understand. We don't have masses in the house that we shall depend on them. We have never gone to the bush that we shall depend on the history of the Bush War. We have been an institution that believes in discussion and engagement. And Uganda is our country. My party president, the Honorable Norbert Mao, after elections, sounded a call, or called all the party leaders within the IPOD processes. He called the chairman, started by the UPC president, party president, the Honorable Jimmy Akena. He called the Honorable Asman Basalirwa. He called the Honorable Muriat Patrick Oboy on phone. He also called the chairman of the NRM. And he requested that this summit is timely and it should take place. Then our able chairperson was tasked to take lead of this process. Therefore, our party, the Democratic Party, is and will take lead in the process of making sure that this summit happens. Talking is civil, and it is only when leaders engage that we can address the key questions of our country. There are several things that are happening in Uganda. For instance, the behavior and conduct of the security men and women. The men and women, our brothers and sisters in our uniforms. We political leaders ourselves and how we behave and conduct ourselves, but also we are from an election that has ended in court. I think we need to get together. Finally, I call upon our members to trust us in this process. The talking and discussion of the IPOD is not something special, but it is the principle of the IPOD that the summit should happen. Therefore, we want to appreciate you, Madam Chair, for accepting to lead us through this IPOD summit, and we're going to attend just like we attended the other first three. DP is committed and will attend the summit. Thank you.
Upon in our last council meeting on 23rd that we should hold a summit meeting to discuss issues which came out after the general elections. I would like to call upon Ugandans to support this initiative. We are all aware that you have issues, but these issues cannot go away unless we sit down as a country and talk about them. JEMA as a party, we are committed to support the dialogue process, and God willing, inshallah, we shall be there. Thank you for coming.
Our program manager and leaders present, colleagues, secretary generals. Thank you, the media, for coming. We as Uganda People's Congress, we agreed when our chairperson summoned us and told us we need to have the summit. And it is in our MOU that every 6 months we have to have a summit. So in line with our MOU, we accepted as a party to go for the summit. And on Friday, we shall be there. My party president will be there, I will be there. And the members that the chairperson would ask us to go with, I believe the council members. So members of the media and the nation at large, be attentive that day, be there, because the issues that we are going to discuss are critical. We know we all rise together and fall together as one nation and one people. We need to build unity and peace and security for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much.
NUP and PPP part of it, I want to inform you that the current memorandum of understanding that brings us together, that we signed as IPOD parties, that is DP, JEMA, FDC, and UPC and NRM. These are the political parties that have membership in Parliament. But given the issue that we are supposed to discuss, the NUP and PPP are political actors and institutions that have participated in this election. So it is not us to take the decision. The decision will be taken by the heads of political parties in the summit, not we, the Secretaries General. So we are going to put it to them, and the moment they say yes, they may not only even limit it to this. It is them to decide whether they will be even stopping only to political leaders or even extending it to candidates who participate, presidential candidates who have participated in presidential elections, or political parties that participated. This is the decision. The final decision is supposed to be taken by the summit, not with the Secretaries General. Part of what we want to put to them, since we want to build cohesion. And like NUP and PPP are part of the IPOD, if we continue to work together in the next parliament, and also we'll have to sign a memorandum of understanding, which may be the same or it will be subject to changes based on what will be at hand by the current and those who have come on board. So the issue will be resolved. In summary, the issue will be resolved. The issue of whether we have NUP or PPP or other actors, whether political or non-political, that will be decided by the summit on Friday. The issue of institutionalizing of IPOD, that is part of what we are going to we shall give a report to the IPOD Council and also call on the different institutions to make sure this is effected at least in the first year of the next parliament. Because if we don't institutionalize it, we will not have done much as an institution, as leaders in the IPOD at this time. The issue of groups to join IPOD, we are now talking of the moment the leaders on Friday accept the principle of having dialogue and who are the different teams to include. That's when we shall inform them. So it is not about joining IPOD, it's about joining the discussion. That is most important at this time. Then FDC has been continuously absent. We sit in the IPOD Council or Secretaries General. We agree. We only came here to announce on a position that we agreed in the IPOD Council in the presence of leaders from FDC. So they have their rights. They are free to do what they want to do. But for us as IPOD Council, with their full participation, a decision was taken. We are only moving the different steps to implement on what we agreed. The other issue that was raised was the issue of NRM was paid more. I think at this time it is not be an issue of money. Those are part of the minutes where we shall say how much has been implemented and what has not been implemented. And leaders in that meeting will point out what was done right and what was not done right, what was not done properly, and make a way forward. I don't want us to discuss issues of money. It will be overshadow the most important issue, where we want everybody to have peace at heart, have peace in the mind, have a lot of certainty For those who are asking questions, answers must be given. Because the chairperson of the current IPOD summit, that is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he's the head of state. So whatever happens in this country, we are also going to use this opportunity for him being chair to respond to these issues. So it is an opportunity for political leaders on Friday to come and raise what they think should be discussed, should they adopt the principle of having a discussion as leaders, and who are the people to be involved in that. Is it only the political actors under IPOD, or those who have participated, or those who are even outside politics? Uganda is for all of us. You can only draw a conclusion. You can only build cohesion after you've sat with the different warring parties together to have a discussion. Most important, we are all Ugandans. The FDC, we don't have the powers to suspend FDC. And I wouldn't want us to go to that level, even if we had the powers under the Memorandum of Understanding. Why? They are big political actors. We need them on board. And we are expecting them to come and participate as agreed on the 23rd in the IPOD Council. The resolutions remain on paper. Not of the role of security agencies in campaigns. Those are issues that will be discussed. So you are asking me, no, it is not me to respond now. We shall have that discussion with even examples in the different areas. So the issue of security agencies, I've said it in the statement, it is part of what will be discussed. The chairperson of NRM insulted opposition without remorse. So you are only calling people so that when he's on camera, he does the opposite. They have all insulted each other. And we are not happy about it as Ugandans. Whether as presidential candidates or as political heads, they have insulted each other. Whether chairperson NRM, whether chairperson FDC, whether chairperson of NUP, chairperson of DP, chairperson of JEMA, they have all insulted each other. That's not what we want to see again. And that's why we want a discussion. The issue of the IPOD worked on electoral reforms, and some were passed and some were not passed. But that's how democracy is. So whatever was not passed, we want to begin the process so that we leave it on record for the next members of NUP. The next members of IPOD to take it up. Then we also worked on the issues of POMA. I've told you the regulations. Some have, actually for some they have even been, police took them on and they've been implementing them, though they've not yet even tabled them. Let me give an example. When you write to police, when you have a public function or a public meeting, originally it was that you are going to seek permission from police. So it is not about seeking permission anymore. It's about telling you whether that place is safe or not. But also, when it comes to the issue of police receiving your letter, they have to acknowledge. These days, police acknowledges letters, which they used not to do before. And also, we must also make sure we get also report about the regulations that we push to the National Security Council about issues to do with public meetings. It is under IPOD that these political parties got more funding. So we are also going to discuss this and also look at how the implementation was done. Yes, NRM took the lion's share, but whatever formula is brought, NRM will take the lion's share. Because we command the majority in parliament, and even in the next parliament, we are going to command the majority. But most importantly is we should do it when everybody is happy with the formula that has been used. IPOD has supported a number of trainings in political parties, including supporting political parties to make their manifestos. So, different trainings to different leagues under political parties, this happened. And I think that's why you have seen that there has been a big number of young people who have taken up leadership at the different levels in all the political parties. But also, IPOD has remained as a platform that has played a role in stabilizing the politics of this country. Don't underrate or underestimate the role IPOD has played so far, minus bringing these leaders of political parties on the table. You and me cannot tell how far it would have gone, but you have seen how it has been after we have also made a contribution to make sure we stabilize the politics of this country. The Richter scale would have been much higher than it is now. I thank you.